Well, hi everybody, Mindy here, and I'm going to do a video today that's a little different. This video is primarily focused for people who are either US Forex traders or people who just want to know how to open and set up a Metatrader 4 trading platform. There are literally hundreds of Forex brokers around the world, and most of them offer a trading platform called Metatrader. Metatrader is kind of like the industry standard in trading platforms. So the good thing about Metatrader is that if you move from one Forex broker to another Forex broker, more than likely they will both offer Metatrader trading platforms. And the trading platform is where you actually execute your trades. And the nice thing about Metatrader is no matter what broker you're using, the Metatrader platform is always pretty much the same. Also, the Metatrader platforms accommodate something called EAs, which means expert advisors, but expert advisors are just little sub-programs that you can install into your Metatrader trading platform that will offer you the availability to additional indicators inside of the platform, or sometimes programs that will actually trade for you, and those are called auto trading programs. So I'm going to show you today how to literally open a trading account with a foreign broker that will offer you 500 to 1 leverage on your trading and allow you to hedge your trades and to avoid the first in, first out rules. So if you're trading in the United States, you really want to watch this video. And then I'm also going to show you step by step how to set up a Metatrader trading platform in the most usable way. Okay, so here we go. The first thing that you're going to want to do is come to my website, which is www.mindyyost.com. And on my website, one of the first things that you'll see up here in this top section is you'll see this link right here that says click here and open an account with a broker that allows 500 to 1 leverage. So the first step in the process is literally to click on this link right here. Now, it's very easy to sign up with this broker. All you do is you type in your name, your email address, a password that you choose. This is something that you will create, so make it something that you'll remember, and then the country that you're in, your phone number, and then the trading platform. You want to select Metatrader 4, MT4, and the account type that you want. And right now, all you need to do is open a demo account. So you'll just click on demo. There's absolutely no obligation for you to ever open a live account until you're ready. And nobody at this brokerage is going to be harassing you to open a live account, things like that. So once you've done that and you've clicked the I agree button to the terms and conditions, and I would actually suggest that you actually open the terms and conditions and read them, as well as the general risk disclosure. It's very important to understand exactly what you're getting into when you open a Forex account, and then click sign up. Okay? And it is that simple. Once you have created your account and you log in, this will bring you to something called the CoinEx portal. And this is what your CoinEx portal will look like. It'll just be a big black box. This is called your back office. Up at the top, it will say welcome Mindy or welcome whoever you are, and you can go to your profile. You can go to the support button if you need help. You can download platforms, change your password, or log out. Okay, but now the thing is, when you have multiple accounts with CoinEx, which you eventually will because you're going to like the first one so much, you're going to want to make another one. The dashboard, which is the first window that opens up, is always going to show a balance of 0, an equity of 0, all the way across the board. But that's because we're not looking at any one specific account. If you want to see the data for any account that you have, whether it's a demo account or a live account, you go to this window right here where it says select trading account here, and you click the down arrow, and this shows you the list of accounts that you have. Now you can see that I do a lot of testing, okay, because I create programs called EAs that do auto trading, and so you can see that I have a lot of demo accounts, right? I have tons. You won't have this many, but you might have 2 or 3 before it's over because you'll want to test different strategies on different demo accounts, right? But you can also see that I have currently have 5 live accounts with CoinEx as well. So the thing is, if I wanted to see the data from any one of these specific accounts, all I would do is I would go and I would click on any one of them, and then the little spinner is going to go around for about a minute, and then the data for that particular account will pop up in the window. See, and so you can see that this account is one that I've probably only traded for a few days because I usually start with $10,000, and you can see that this one has a balance of $10,400. It has an equity balance of $10,291. It has currently $154 of open trades that are currently negative at the moment, and it has a free margin of $10,181. Okay, the free margin number is very important because this is how much money I have in the account available to use to enter other trades or to manage the negative PL in the currently open positions. Okay, so anyway, that's what you do, and you just click here, and you go to whatever account that you want to look at the data for. But right now you don't have any accounts yet because you haven't opened any. So if we want to create a new demo account, what we do is we go up here to the top and we click one time on demo account. That's going to bring us to a window where we can either create an account in Metatrader 4 or we can create an account in Metatrader 5. Now, the EAs that I create, which are the auto trading programs that I create and sell, and I think you're probably going to want to use them, they are only compatible with Metatrader 4. Not Metatrader 5. So let's click on create an account with Metatrader 4, and we just hit one time on create an account. Now, the first thing that you'll do is you'll select the leverage that you want to trade with. And so you will click the down arrow, come down to 500x, which means 500 to 1. Now, if you're opening an account with another broker somewhere around the world, this process will be very similar, okay? But you always want to use the highest leverage that is available with the broker that you're trading with. The reason for that is because when you use a higher leverage, that means that the cost of the deposit to go in the trades is much less than it would be with a lower leverage. And that means that you have more money left in your usable margin to make additional trades with or manage the trades that you're currently in. Okay, now the next thing is you select the currency. This is the currency of your home country. Okay, so most of you in the United States are going to be selecting USD. So we'll select US dollars there. Now, we can add any amount of funds we want to the demo account. I suggest that you make the account approximately the same size that you would fund a live account with when you get to the point where you want to make a live account. It doesn't really do any good for you to say, oh, I can add any funds I want. I'm going to put in $1 million. Well, you can do that, but if you're going to be opening a live account with $10,000, you want to trade your demo account in a way that it's going to be representative of the live account that you're going to be using in the future. So why don't we click on type in 10,000. I've found that most of my students open accounts somewhere in the range of $10,000 to $25,000. Now you can open accounts with as little as $1,000 or even $500, but what you'll find is that that's really not enough to be successful in Forex trading. One of the things about Forex trading is that you want to put enough money in your Forex trading account so that you can make more than 1 or 2 trades at a time, because there will often be times where you might want to have 10 or 15 trades going on at the same time. And you really can't do that if you don't have enough money to work with. Now, the thing about Forex is the reason we put money in the account is so that we can use that money to manage and make trades with. Okay? So you have to understand with Forex that you should never put money in a Forex account that you can't afford to lose, because there's a lot of ways in Forex to lose money, but the biggest way people lose money is because of their own mistakes that they make with their trading. Okay, there are situations sometimes where brokers will go out of business, or countries will have a shakeup in their political environment, in their structure, and that can affect the Forex brokers in that country. So there's a lot of things that can go bad with Forex, but most of those things don't happen. Most brokers are honest and they're not out to steal your money. So most of the time with people who lose money in Forex, it's simply because of their own bad trading decisions. But I can help you with that if you want to look at my website and see some of the programs that I have for Forex education, because I can literally teach you how to trade Forex and never take a loss on a trade. And that's very unique. But anyway, getting back to this, we want to make the account size of the demo account consistent with what you would make your live account. And then we'll just click on New Metatrader Demo Account. Okay, that will bring up a box that looks like this. What it's doing, it's assigning you a trading ID, which is the account number for your Metatrader trading account, and then a password. Now, do not confuse this password with the password that you created for your overall CoinEx account. Okay, this is a password specifically for this particular trading account. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, what I always do, is I always take a screenshot of this trading account number and password. So I'm just going to take a screenshot like that. And then I have a file on my computer where I keep all of the screenshots of the different demo accounts and live accounts that I have, so that I always have a place to go back to where I can find out what these passwords are at a later date, because there might be a time when I might want to move this trading account to a different computer or something like that. So if I wanted to do that, I could, as long as I knew both the trading account number and the password. So I just keep them in a file folder so that I always have access to them. Okay? Okay, now that you have your trading ID and the password either saved as a screenshot or written down on a piece of paper so that you know what it is, now we're going to actually do the download for the Metatrader software. In the tiny text at the bottom, we see download MT4 for desktop. So we're going to click the Here button right here for the download for the desktop version of Metatrader. Now what that did is down here at the bottom of my window, it put a setup execute file for CoinEx. Okay, so we're going to click on this execute file one time, which is the same as running it. If your computer asks you if you want to save it or run it, you would click run. And then your screen is going to turn blue. And there's a box that says, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? And you click yes on that box. Now, once you've clicked yes on that box that popped up, a window will appear that looks like this. And this is the window where we're going to go through and click next and actually download the software. But before we do that, we want to go ahead and prepare for the fact that in the future we will probably want more demo accounts. So we do not want the CoinEx Metatrader to generate where it's going to save the files, because we want to put it in a special place so that when we download another version of Metatrader in the future, those files won't get confused with each other and mess everything up. So we're going to go to Settings, and then this is the folder where it's going to try to put the files, but we're going to change that folder. So we're going to go to Browse, and the folder that is currently open is here, right? And it's in the Programs 86 file folder. But we're not going to use that folder. We're going to make a new one. You can see I have tons of them on here. You will too someday. But so what we're going to do is we're going to close the Program 86 file folder by making this little caret face to the right. See, so now the Program 86 file folder, it's closed, but it's highlighted. And this is what you want it to look like. And then we're going to go down and tell it to make a new folder. Now, the new folder will look like this, and we're going to rename it. So we want to call it what we want it to be called. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the name that I want to give this folder. So I'm going to type in CoinEx, and I'm going to put a D because this is a demo account. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that window over so I can see this number. I'm going to also do a space and type in the number of this demo account, 5091637. Okay? And once I've done that, then I'm going to highlight the box, find it in the list, highlight it so that this is the box that I want the files to go into, and now I'm going to click OK at the bottom of the box. So now the installation folder address is the folder that I just created. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the program group name match this folder name. So I'm going to put in a D and a space and then the number 5091637. Okay? Now, this checkbox here, if you have it checked, it's just going to open a big advertisement when the installation process is finished. And we don't want to see that advertisement, so we'll just uncheck that box and click Next. So the program is downloading. It takes about 30 seconds or so. But when it's finished, it'll say finished right down here. Well, that was quick. So right down here it says finish. So now all we have to do is click on the word finish. Now after you click finish, it'll take about a minute, because what's going to happen is it's actually unwrapping all of that, download on your computer. When the Metatrader program opens on your computer, it's going to look like this. And the first thing that you're going to want to do is close the first window that opens in the front, the one that says open an account, because we've already done that. So just close this first window with the X. Okay, this is the next window that opens. And what you need to do in this window is literally type in the account number, which is the trading ID number, and the password that was generated for you when you opened the account. So once you have your numbers keyed in, all you do is you make sure this says save account information, and then you click login.
Incoming mail.
Okay, now that we are logged in to our new Metatrader trading platform, I'm going to show you next how to set it up. Now, when you log in to a new Metatrader platform, it will always look like this, pretty much no matter what broker you're opening the account with. Okay, so I'm going to explain what these windows are, how to use them, how to find them if you lose them, and things like that. Now, the Metatrader windows always open up in the Mailbox tab. So if you look down here at the bottom, you'll see that this tab called Mailbox is the one that's highlighted. And CoinX or whatever your broker is, they're going to send you a bunch of welcome emails and things like that, which you don't need to read. Nobody cares about any of this stuff. So this is also the area, though, down here where your trades will actually show up when you make trades. And it's called the terminal window. And here's the heading bar for the terminal window. It's this little blue stripe, right? And so the terminal window has all of the tabs that you need when you're trading. There's really only a few that you really need to look at. The most important one is the first one here at the bottom on the left that says trade. Okay, so that's the one that you're going to want to click on, and it will show you the balance in your account. Now when you start making trades, it'll also show you all of the trades that are in the account. Okay, so the other important tab down here is the account history. The account history will show you all of the trades that you have made that have closed. So when they're open positions, they're in the trade tab. Once you close a trade, it will move to the account history tab. Okay, so we'll get more into this later, but for right now we can just put it on the trade tab. In this left sidebar, there are usually two windows. One is the Market Watch window, and one is the Navigator window. The Navigator is how you navigate around. You know, if you're going to add indicators to a chart, or an expert advisor, which are those little programs called EAs that I talked about earlier. But for right now, let's close the Navigator window by clicking this tiny little X right here. And also, we're going to close these 4 charts that open up by default, because we're not going to use any of them. So we're just going to close all 4 of them with the X, like that. Okay? Now, if you're going to trade using one of my EAs, or if you're going to be trading the way that I teach trading, you're going to want to change the list in the Market Watch window so that it includes all of the 28 pairs that I trade and that you will want to trade. So while we're working on this window, we're going to make it a little bit wider like this, and then we're going to click on any one of the entries, right click on it, and come down to show all. Now that's going to bring up a huge long list of different pairs and different things that you can trade in Metatrader. But most of this stuff we're not going to use. So what we'll do is we'll come down and we'll look at all of the things that we do like to trade. And let me do this. I'm going to bring up a list for you so that you can see something. Okay, what I do is I only trade currency pairs that are made up of the 8 most traded pairs in the world. And the reason I do this is because if you stick with currency pairs that are comprised of these 8 currencies, then you won't have any problems with getting fills on your trades, and the spreads and things like that will be reasonable. But when you start trading currency pairs that aren't traded very much, you can run into situations where the spread will be really high, like 30 or 40 pips, and there might be liquidity problems in those pairs. So when you want out of a trade, you may or may not be able to get out of the trade when you want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this list of trades in the Market Watch window, and any pair that comprises a currency other than these 8, we're going to delete it from the list. And that way we don't have to have it taking up space and junking up our Metatrader platform. Okay, so I'm going to run through this and do that and delete the pairs that don't comprise the currencies that are involved in this list. Here's the first one that doesn't belong. It's USO USD. Well, we don't trade anything with USO, so I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to click delete on my keyboard, and that'll get rid of it. Now the next one on the list is UKO. We don't trade it, so we'll delete it. We don't trade anything with an XNG or a ZAR or TRY or SGD, SEK, PLN, NOK, MXN, CZK, DKK, HUF. See, so all of these that are including currencies that we don't trade, I'm just knocking them off the list by clicking the delete key for each line that they're on. Now you have to be careful because sometimes you'll go through a bunch that you don't want, and then you'll find some that you do want. So we're going to skip this one because we do trade the NZD and the CAD, but we don't trade this NOK SEC, so we'll delete it. We're going to keep the GBP AUD, but delete the GBP ZAR and TRY. We're going to keep GBP Canada and delete the GBP DKK and SEK and HUF and PLN. We're going to keep GBP NZD, but delete GBP NOK and DKK, HKD, SGD, Ruble, ZAR, CZK, SGD, HKD, MXN, SGD, Ruble again. Now, these ones that you get into that have the colored background, these are indices and stock things, so we can just delete all of the ones with the colored backgrounds. And then these last two on the bottom, we don't want them either. Now, if you're not using CoinEx and you're setting this up with a different broker, the order of those items might be different. So you just have to be careful that you only delete the ones that you don't want. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through and I'm going to alphabetize these really quickly, just so that when I open the Market Watch window, it will be easier for me to find the pair that I'm looking for in a hurry. Now, there should be 28 pairs on your list if you have done all of the combinations of the 8 pairs that I showed you on the little sticky note. Okay, so we'll count them and see if there's 28 pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay, so we have 28 pairs, and that's what we want, and that's great. So now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to prepare the EA to trade the way that we want it to trade. So we want to go in and adjust some settings. So we're going to go to the Tools tab right at the top. We're going to come down to Options, and the Options box has a bunch of different tabs in it. The first tab is the Server tab, and it will tell you what server you're on. It will have your account number and the password, and you do want to have this box checked where it says keep personal settings and data at startup, but I always uncheck enable the news, because all that's going to do is just keep popping up messages all the time that are just more trouble than they're worth. Okay, so then we'll go to the next tab, which is the Charts tab. And if you're going to trade manually, you might want to have these default check marks here. If you're going to be trading the EA that I sell, the Magic EA, you're going to want to uncheck all of these check boxes in the Charts tab. Now, also, to make the Metatrader not use as many resources in your computer, no matter if you're trading live or trading my EA, you're going to want to take these maximum bars in the history and move them down to the lowest selection, which is 5,000. And you're going to want to do that on both of these two boxes. Okay? Now we can go to the Objects tab. Usually there's nothing that you need to check or anything on this box. Okay? So we'll go to the Trade tab. This is where you set the default size of the trades that you want to take. And it's really important that you change this unless you're trading like a really big account, like a $50,000 account or a $100,000 account. So what I do is I always set the default size of the trades by clicking the default here in the center section where it says size by default, and I change it to a 1 mini lot trade, which is 0.1. And that way, if I accidentally make a trade manually, it's not going to be some big gigantic trade. Okay, so I always start with 0.1, meaning that the default size for the trade is 1 mini lot. You can always make it bigger. Now, if you're using an account with less than $10,000 in it, you might want to make the default size of the trade even smaller. If you're trading an account with $1,000 in it, you would want to make the default size of the trade 0.01, which would be a micro lot. If you're trading an account with $5,000 in it, you would want to type in 0.05, which is a half of 1 mini lot, or 5 micro lots. But for our situation, we're going to have 0.1, which is 1 mini lot. Then the deviation by default, I like to click on default and type in a 0, just to make sure that it's registering a 0. And then we always want to click the one-click trading box, which brings up another disclosure to read, and then accept that box by clicking the X and hitting OK. And now we can move over to the Expert Advisor tab. Now, in the Expert Advisor tab, if you're only trading manually, you do not need to check these boxes. But if you're going to be using EAs or auto trading EAs, you do have to click on Allow Automated Trading, and you also have to click on Allow DLL Imports if you're using My EAs. Okay, these two boxes you need to check. When you put a check mark in the top one, it's going to defaultly put check marks in the next two lines, and that's okay. Okay, so now the only other tab that we need to pay attention to is the Events tab, and I like to uncheck the Enable button, and that way the EA won't be making all kinds of noises every time something happens. And once we've done that, we can click OK at the bottom of the window. Now that we've made some changes in our account, what we want to do is we want to make sure that these changes that we've made so far will hold in the event that our computer crashes and the Metatrader account closes before we have officially closed it with the X up in the top right corner. Okay, so what we're going to do next is, before we close it with the X, we're going to find the Metatrader icon on our taskbar, and we're going to find the C logo, the C icon that goes with the Metatrader that we just opened, and you'll be able to tell because the C icon will have a little bit of shading behind it if it's the one that you're currently working on and you have 15 of them on your computer the way I do. And you're going to right click on it, and then a pop-up box will come up, and it will, one of the choices will say Pin to Taskbar, and so that's what you're going to want to click. That way when you pin the icon to the taskbar, when you close the program and reopen it, all you have to do is go down to the taskbar, click on this icon, and it will open the program. You won't have to go searching through your computer to find, how to open the Metatrader window again. So it'll make your life a lot easier. Now that we have pinned the Metatrader to the taskbar, let's go up and close the Metatrader with the X and reopen it. And the reason we're doing that is because we want to solidify those changes that we made, and that way the next time we open it, we'll know that all of those changes will be held into the account. So I'm clicking on my taskbar to reopen the Metatrader 4 program. So now I've reopened the Metatrader program, okay? And everything looks just the way it did when we left off. We have our market watch window with the 28 pairs. We have our terminal window down here at the bottom with the $10,000. Now you can see that the Metatrader window is taking up the full screen. And a lot of times you don't want your Metatrader taking up your whole monitor. So what you do to make it smaller is you can go up to the right-hand corner and click one time on these two squares where it looks like two boxes overlapping each other. If you click there one time, then you will get these hash marks down here in the lower right-hand corner, and you can left click and drag those hash marks and size the Metatrader window any size you want to on your screen. Now, if you are going to be trading the EAs that I sell, during the time that we're setting them up, it is best to have your Metatrader pretty big. It doesn't have to be the entire monitor window, but it could be most of it, kind of like this, okay? And the first thing we're going to do, we're going to close the Market Watch window because we really don't need it. Now, if you have purchased the Magic EA from me, which is probably why you're watching this video anyway, you will have gotten a series of emails from me. Okay? Now, the first one that you will get will be a request for you to send me the last 4 digits of your account number, because I have to make the EA for each account that it runs on. So in this case, for this account, I would need for you to send me an email telling me 1637, which are the last 4 digits of the account number, and also if the account number is running on a demo account or a live account. Because if I don't give you the right version of the Magic EA, it's not going to work correctly when you try to use it. So when you send me that information on an email, I will then send you 2 more emails. The second email that you receive from me will look like this. And what it is a whole bunch of files. It's going to be titled Chart Layout to help make the EA loading process easier. And this really does make it easier. So what we're going to do, you can follow the instructions on the email, but I'm going to show you how to do it. What we're going to do is we're going to go up here to File on the Metatrader program, and we're going to come down to Open the Data folder. Okay? And then we're going to open the Profiles folder. And then we're going to right-click and create a new folder. And we're going to name this folder Basic Chart Layout. Okay? And then we're going to click once to create the folder. Now we're going to double-click that folder, Basic Chart Layout. We're going to go to the email that I sent you. Now, if you have the kind of email where you can just click and drag files from your email into folders, that is the easiest way to do it. And I can, so I'm just going to select all of the attachments in the email. I'm going to left click and drag them over into this window. Now, if you do not have the kind of email where you can click and drag files, what you will have to do is you will have to click on every single one of these files and download them, and then they will all go into your downloads folder, and then you can open your downloads folder and carry the files from the downloads folder into this folder. Okay, but hopefully you'll have the kind of email that I have where you can just click and drag files from the email directly into the chart. Now once you've done that, you can close this window, and you can close this window. And what we want to do, we also want to now close the Metatrader and reopen it. So we're going to close the Metatrader with the X. And then we're going to go to our toolbar at the bottom of our computer. Mine is actually on monitor 1, and you guys are looking at monitor 2. That's why you don't see it. And click on the icon for this Metatrader window, and it opens back up again. Okay? Now, what we just did is we created a profile which will have all the little chart boxes that we need. So to open that profile, we're going to go here underneath the word view. There's this icon that looks like charts. We're going to click on the down arrow and go down to Basic Charts Layout. And when you click that one time, it places all of the little chart windows that you're going to need. Now you can tell that I have these stacked in here. And I did that so that we could fit all of them on to the screen, because there's 28 chart windows, because you might want to trade all 28 charts, right? You don't have to. If you want to, you can just trade whatever pairs you want to trade. You know, if you want to trade the top row, which is all of the USD pairs, you can do that. Or if you want to trade the USD pairs and the JPY pairs, then trade row 1 and row 2. Okay? If you're trading on a smaller account, you might also want to think about not trading all 28 pairs. Just because I sent them to you doesn't mean you have to use them, okay? So remember that. So that's what we do first. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to View, and we're going to open the Navigator window. And we'll also open now the third email that I sent to you. Again, this email has tons of files on it, okay? Because these are all of the set files. It has your Magic EA file, and it also has some indicator files that we're going to put in. Okay, so there's lots of files on this email. So what we're going to do with this email, we're going to open the file, and we're going to go to Open Data folder. The first thing we're going to do is double click on MQL4. Then we're going to open the Presets folder, which is right down here under the Log folder, the Presets folder. We'll click twice on it. Now we're going to go over here to the email that I sent to you, and there are instructions on it how to do it, but I'm just kind of showing you how to do it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on any one of the attachments. We're going to select all of them, and then in one fell swoop we're going to left click and drag them into this window. Okay, then we can close the email. We're done with it. Okay, now here again, you might have to download these files one at a time. Now, the reason we dropped everything into the presets folder is because most of the files are preset files. But if you scroll down here a ways, you'll see one file that says Magic version 44. Or maybe we'll be on version 46 by the time you see this video, or 53, it doesn't matter. But you'll be looking for the file that says Magic, right? And it'll also tell you what the last 4 digits of the account number are that the EA will run on. Okay, these EAs will only run on one account at a time. So there isn't any use in, sending the EA to all of your friends. They won't be able to use it, okay? Because the way the EA is structured and built, I have to make a unique EA for every single account that it runs on. So we're going to find the account for the Magic version 44 or later, and we're going to click on it, right click on it, copy it, and then up at the top of this window, you have this backup arrow here. We're going to click on the backup arrow. We're going to come up to the Experts folder, and we're going to open the Experts folder. We're going to right click and paste the EA into this folder. Okay? So there we have it. Our EA is in place. Now we're going to back up again. We're going to reopen the Presets folder. We're going to go find the Magic EA because it doesn't belong in this folder. We're going to click on it, right click on it, and delete it because we've already moved a copy of it where it belongs. Now we're going to scroll up and kind of here, not quite at the top and not quite at the bottom. What we want to do is pick up these 3 banned files. So I'm going to highlight one, hold down my control key, and highlight another and another. And then I'm going down to the FFcal files. There's 2 of those, highlighting them. So now I have all 5 of these files highlighted. So I'm going to right click and copy them. Then we're going to go to the backup button one more time. We're going to open the indicators, and we're going to go off into the white space over here on the side somewhere and paste in these 5 files. And you'll see them, and they will come in highlighted when they get to the right place. It's 3 files that say bands. EMA or EXP, and 2 that say FFCal. And now we can hit the backup button again. We'll go to the presets window again. We'll find these 5 files that we have already moved to where they belong. And what we're going to do is highlight all 5 of these files, right click on any one of them and delete them because they don't belong in this folder, right? And so now we're done with that. So we can close this window. And now one more time, we're going to close the Metatrader and reopen it. Okay, now our EA is ready to use. So we should have our navigator window open. We want to have the Expert Advisor tab window open so that we can see the Magic version 44 EA. And we're going to take the Magic EA and highlight it and drag it over and drop it on the middle of the AUD/USD chart. Now, every time the EA opens, the first time it opens, it might open looking like this. It might be a small box, and it will probably be on the tab that says About. Okay, so what this tab tells you, it tells you when your expiration date is. It tells you what version you're on, if it's for a live or a demo account, and the last 4 digits of the account number. It also tells you where to go to get a renewal for your license, and that's my website. Okay. You can also see that this Magic EA is under my copyright from last year, from 2018. Okay. The other thing we want to do is we want to go to the Common tab and make sure that Allow Live Trading is checkmarked. We also want to make sure that we have a check mark on Allow DLL Imports. And then we can go to the Inputs tab. Now that we have it on the Inputs tab, it really is easier to work with if you just stretch it out and make it really tall. So what I do is I stretch the top of it up and the bottom of it down. Now it will always open to these default settings, but you don't want to use these settings. I've created individual settings files for each one of the pairs. So what you do is you'll come over here to Load down at the bottom of the box, and you'll find, if you put these in alphabetical order, all of the AUD/USD ones will be together. And there's actually 3. There's one AUD/USD set file to work on 15-minute time frame charts. See how the middle 2 numbers of this magic number are 15? That means it's for a 15-minute chart. The next one has 423001. The 30 means it's for a 30-minute chart, and the third one is 426001. The 60 in the middle means it's for a 60-minute or 1-hour chart. Okay, and I think tonight we'll load up the 1-hour settings because they have been working really good. So I'm going to click on this set file for AUD/USD for the 60-minute set file, and I'm going to click Open at the bottom. Now that brings us back into this window, but now all of these numbers are filled out the way they need to be to trade this particular pair. Okay, and you can scroll down to the bottom and you can see the set file name here. And then all we have to do is click OK at the bottom. And that loaded the EA onto this chart. So now we're ready to load it on the next chart, which is EUR/USD. So we have to go get the Magic EA, drag it onto the Euro/USD chart. Then we're going to scoot this over so we remember what pair we're working on. And then we'll go to Load. We'll find the Euro/USD settings files. So we'll scroll the bar down. We'll find the Euro USD and we'll do the Euro USD 60-minute settings. So we'll click on that, hit open at the bottom, and then hit OK at the bottom of this box. Now notice how we have sad faces here. On the EA, if it has a happy face, it's going to be happy. It's going to be turned on and running. If it has a sad face, it's not going to work. So the first thing I notice is that auto trading is not turned on. When we turn on the auto trading, the happy faces are now happy, right? So what you want to do is turn on that auto trading, and then you should have happy faces. For some reason this one's not happy. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go reload the EA. So we're going to go to the box here. What I did is I right-clicked. I'll just show you what I did. I right-clicked on the chart. I go to Expert Advisor Properties. Then I went to Load. We're looking for the EUR-USD, and we want the EUR-USD 60-minute set file. Then we'll click Open and OK. And we still have a sad face. I wonder what's wrong. Let's go check some settings. Let's go to Tools and Options and Server. That looks right. The Charts tab looks right. The Objects, the Trade tab looks fine. This looks fine. And that looks fine. So it's not that. Okay, so let's go back to right click on the chart again, go to Expert Advisor Properties. Let's go check the Common tab. Here's our problem. Allow live trading was not checkmarked. It has to be checkmarked. This has to be checked, and the Allow DLL has to be checked. So now when we go to the inputs, and we see that we already have the Euro USD 60 minutes. Now when we click OK, we should have a happy face, and we do. Okay? You want to pay attention to these things. The other thing that I do is I make the time frame on the chart match the time frame that I'm trading on the EA. So as we go through here, I'm going to make all of these charts 1-hour charts, because I've decided I'm going to use the 1-hour settings. You can use any of the settings you want, but don't try to put more than one EA on any one chart. Okay? And I wouldn't use the 15-minute charts and the 30-minute charts on one currency pair. So pick out one currency pair and pick out one time frame that you want to test it with, and do it that way. You know, but you don't have to have the 1-hour chart settings on all of the pairs. You might want to have some of them be 15-minute charts. You might want some 30-minute charts and some 60-minute charts. And that's okay. You can do it any way you want. Okay? So what we'll do is we'll just go make this chart a 1-hour chart. Then we'll go over here, grab the EA, put it on here, go to Load. This time we're looking for GBP USD, and it's right down here. And again, I'll pick the 60-minute time frame and hit OK, and then hit OK. Okay, so now we've got 3 down. Let's do a couple more. We'll do NZD USD and go to Load. Find the NZD USD 60 minutes, hit Open, and OK. So I will go ahead and finish these, and then I'll speed up the video so that you don't have to watch me do this for an hour. Okay?
I'm thinking maybe you and I could partner up. You and me. The word is out. The game has changed. Word's
talking business, business. So listen up, this is how it goes. You cook, I sell. Own this city. You wanna make some cash money, cash money? I'm out there making fat stacks, fat stacks. We're making money, sky high stacks. I'm out there making fat stacks, fat stacks. We're making money, sky high stacks. Woo! This guy can cook. Keep bringing me that. Look at that, look! This guy can cook. Yeah, Mr. White. Look at that, look. Let's do it again. How we get it right? Let's do it again. Hell yeah! We're gonna make some mad dough. Cash money, fat stacks. Everybody's like, whoa, snap. Whoa, snap. Woo! Mad dough. Cash money, fat stacks. Everybody's like, whoa, snap. Whoa, snap. Yes! If you wanna make more money and keep the money that you make, better call Saul. Oh yeah, better call Saul. Woo!
Oh, I love it.
Your stuff is so sweet. So what do you say? You up for making some fat stacks?
Oh, I love it.
Your stuff is so sweet. I'll buy everything you got. Take it.
The word is out.
This is the best shit ever.
The word is out.
That's success with a capital S. This is our city. Alright? All of it. We're staking our claim. We're gonna be kings.
Oh, I love it.
Your stuff is so sweet. You wanna make some cash money? I'm out there making fat stacks. Yeah! Making money, sky high stacks. I'm out there making fat stacks. Hey, come on, baby! Making money. I'm out there making mad dough. Cash money, fat stacks. Everybody's like, whoa, snap. Yes! Come on! Mad dough. Cash money, fat stacks. Everybody's like, whoa, snap. I'm out there making fat stacks.
Okay, now we have all 28 chart boxes with an EA on it. You want to go through and make sure that you got the right EA on the right chart box. It doesn't really matter, but it just helps keep everything kind of organized, right? But the EA will actually run no matter what chart it's on and no matter what time frame it's on. So what you're going to get if you put the wrong EA set file on the wrong chart, it's going to trade what the set file says, not what the chart says. So you want to go make sure that you've got them all in the right place and things like that. And when you do, we can now close the navigator window because we don't need it anymore. Now, what I like to do is I like to bring my terminal window where my trades go. I like to bring it up and make it about this tall. And then I take the top of the Metatrader and I pull it down to where I'm literally pushing the charts behind the curtain because we don't need to see them. And if we have them all open like this, what's going to happen is we're going to accidentally click on one of these boxes and make a trade that we don't want. Okay? But if you ever want to do check, you just, pull it back up. Right? So anyway, that's how I leave my EA. I leave it folded up like this. And then I bring the right hand edge over and I make it about this big. Now you also want to click on this line of tabs here and you want to open the comments because every time the EA makes a trade, that line will have a comment and tell you what kind of a trade it is. Okay, it's either going to be an original trade or a series trade or a hedge or a quick fixer. Okay, but that way your Metatrader window doesn't need to take up a lot of room on your monitor. That's really plenty of room right there. And you can use your rest of your monitor for doing other things. You might want to look up my website. you might want to go to mindyyost.com, right, and watch some of the other videos, or check out some of the other kinds of Forex trading education programs that I offer, things like that, right? So anyway, you might want to go to YouTube and watch cat videos, right? While your EA's running, remember, the EA, as long as auto trading is on, the EA's going to be making trades for you. It's going to pick them out, it's going to manage them, and it's going to close them all by itself. Okay? So if you have any questions about it, just come on over here to my website, shoot me an email. My email is right here at the top of my website, and I'll probably bring you into a GoToMeeting class where I can answer your questions or help you through any problems that you have. Okay? So that's kind of how you do it. Now, if you haven't bought the EA yet, all you have to do is click here or click on my Shop Now button, and then come down to the Mindy's Magic EA right here and choose the license that is appropriate for your needs. Okay? For $25, I'll give you several months of a demo version, and you can try it and see what you think. If you don't have a lot of money to work with, you might want to start with a 1-month license, and you'll probably make way more than enough during that month to buy, a much larger license if you want to, right? So the prices are going to go up soon. Probably by the time most of you see this video, these prices will be increased, because I am going to be increasing them this next week. And the reason for that is because I have just added some very expensive additions to the EA, things that will help protect it from doing anything bad and causing any kind of significant problem in your account. Okay, so here is where you choose your license and buy the EA. And if you need to get a hold of me, go back to the home page. Here's my email right here. And I look forward to talking to you soon and hearing the wonderful stories that you have about how great the EA is. Because so far, everybody that's used it, they email me and they go, I can't believe this. This just seems too good to be true. Because it's just like magic. Okay? So thanks for watching the video, everybody. And if you need any help, you know where to find me. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.